Mr. Jones, how are you?
Hey, I'm great, and you?
Oh, look, I'm over the moon. Like I gave the title of this conversation a big announcement, right? And there's a reason why it's a big announcement because I want to give a little bit of background to you and I before we do that, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
How long have we known each other now? 4 or 5 years?
Oh, yeah, about that. Yeah.
About that, right? In that time, we have done some amazing things. And I think one of the things that was probably one of the most amazing things I've ever done was raise a pen for the Victorian Brotherhood. It's something that you and I are both a part of, and it really opened the door for conversation and courageous conversations. What was your version of events for that?
For the Razor Pen,
Yeah,
it was mind-blowing that people would come into the space and share their hearts, and some of the stories were like, oh my God, they were huge stories, but it was such a safe space that um, was created, that you created, and yeah, mind-blowing.
I think it's a bit of a we created because one of the things that I loved about it was the involvement from all parties. Yes, I was the initial host. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
I brought it together. But what made it so amazing was the fact that we had people supporting one another throughout all the different things. One of my favorite moments was when the gentleman came in to talk about Men's Shed.
yes,
And he's come in and he's shared with us about Men's Shed, and then he opened up his heart
yeah.
and he shared that and what he didn't expect to happen, but it was just extraordinary. It was just a magical moment where a man got to be a man in front of other men and just be supported. And I'll never forget the moment. One of the things in Razor Pen and why it was called Razor Pen is because encouragement when somebody was speaking, and look, we'll probably run with that again, like we'll talk it through the finer details, but encouragement for someone speaking, when people wanted to support them and put their heart out, they just raised a pen to
Yeah.
say, I'm with you in that moment. And we sat there in silence for about 4 minutes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
everybody sat there with their pen upright in just to honor another man. And that was one of my most favorite moments in that place. Like there's so many, like there's a gorgeous man, Shane, who, which I'll talk about in a minute. He was a shining light in that too.
Mm.
But I just, yeah. So, but that was my all-time favorite moment because that's when I saw men supporting men without having to use their words. They were just there. So,
Yeah.
what was
And
your
he was
favorite moment? Sorry,
blown away by that. The guy
he
was blown
was.
away. We would just
Yeah,
sit there in silence for him. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, being present, and that's the one thing that if you've ever heard me actually do any of my presentations, I always talk about presence, and you are the most valuable gift you can give anybody. Your presence is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, what was your favorite moment? I know,
That's a
right?
so many.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah, that stands out too for me because of the silence.
Mhm.
But yeah, there were so many amazing stories and moments and and lights going on for people and uh, just going away, guys leaving blown away basically. So yeah,
And supporting one another. I think that's the
yeah,
the thing that I love the most. Guys who'd never met each other before empathize with one another because they heard each other's stories, and so they could feel it in the heart. So they stood together in unity, and for that I was forever grateful.
mm, yeah.
So what happened tonight, Mr. Jones?
Well, we got together at short notice. You called me about, I don't know, 4 o'clock. What are you doing tonight? Do you fancy getting on a call? We might get a couple of people, we might not. Yeah, 7 o'clock. Yeah, okay, I'm up for that. And I was a bit blasé about it, not expecting much. And what happened. Yeah, we got a few people, and yeah, I was blown away again because someone we hadn't met before turned up with this pretty uh, horrific story, and he was meant. Well, it was it was a hard story, and he was meant to be there, and it was just yeah.
Look, there's lots of words you could use for his story, right? Because it was big. It was,
It was a
it
big
was,
yeah.
yeah, it was a big one, right? And like just to have him share his honest heart and how things really are, um, blew me away.
Mm.
Was it horrific? Yeah. Look,
Well,
depending, yeah, like it can be, right? But at the end of the day, we treated it with love. And
yeah,
we walked away with love in our hearts because of that, or in all of us together. And I think from that is our big announcement, really, isn't it?
mm,
Do you want to share with everybody what we're doing?
sure. We're going to be hosting calls every Sunday night, 7 to 9 p.m.
What specifically are they for?
They're for any man to come along and share if they wish to share, listen, but it's a safe place for guys to be heard, seen, support each other.
I'm smiling ear to ear from this because I know the power of it. I know how successful we were many years ago, and we've let it go because it took a lot of energy, and what came behind it was a lot of lessons. And
Mhm.
moving forward, we're taking all those lessons and we're creating a safe place for men.
Yeah,
I keep hearing that men don't have a safe place. We're trying to build a toolbox for life for men. It has been my experience that men need a place to actually unpack things that comes from experience, not necessarily from um, a place of how do I best put the terminology around this? Um, Men know how to talk. I am 100% convinced of that. I don't see an issue with that. But men need to talk in a way in which men can assimilate based upon their language skills and their occupations. And that's what I love about what we do.
mm,
You know, there's no one person that's more important. There's no one person that's got like a skill set that elevates them above anybody else. It's just a bunch of men coming together to have a conversation to get a deeper understanding of what's actually going on in life,
yeah,
asking questions so that we can get better quality answers ourselves.
yep, yep, absolutely. And we're not here to, we're not here to fix anyone.
I love my internet.
What is
So, oh, look,
it?
I've got it. It's got to be fixed. But we've talked about it a lot, Mr. Jones, and I'm so grateful to be putting this up. Now, it will be open to the business of smiles. Okay, so we will be opening up the platform through the business of smiles. That's a very important thing. The website's not up to date. We're not really massive on which we're busy doing. We'll
Yeah,
improve the other side of it, but we will advertise a conversation on LinkedIn. We'll advertise a conversation on Facebook, but it'll be between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. every Sunday. Once that gets to capacity, we'll look at doing further
yeah,
opportunities. But right now, more than ever, I think it's needed.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. I'm very excited that it all happened very quickly, and it was just synchronicity was amazing.
I want to say a huge shout out to Shane Farrant. I really want to thank him for prompting this to happen. I think the guy is absolutely amazing, and I want to thank him for his encouragement and for his reaching out to say that this needs to happen again. So, mate, from my heart to yours, thank you. Excuse me. But the biggest one I want to thank is you, Mr. Jones. I want to thank you for one, being in my life, two, for being such a supportive person in my life, and taking on this big challenge of, and I'm just going to go with Razor Pen, because I know the boys have done it, and I know they've done a great job of it. And I don't want to compete. It's about we together. Their version's great. Our version's going to be great. As long as we support each other, I think that's important.
My pleasure.
Yeah, but thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jones. I really look forward to this. I want to keep it short and sharp. Anything in closing? Nothing.
Come and join us. I mean, yeah, it's such a safe, non-judgmental space. It's amazing.
I like that. Come and join us. Yeah. So if you know a man that's, that's got a story in himself and just doesn't know where the next step is and just doesn't know where to turn, we're happy to listen. We're happy to be there to just ask quality questions to see if we can get some better quality answers so that they can find better quality solutions. So often when we ask these questions, the person's got the answers inside them. That's what we do. We're not here to give advice. We're just here to ask questions so we can get better solutions. So if you've got a man in your life that, needs a bit of time, stay tuned. We're going to be here for those men. So
absolutely.
Beautiful. All right. That's a huge announcement, because I didn't know whether or not we'd actually get back to doing it. I honestly didn't, because the last time was a really big thing, and I'm super excited about it. So
yeah,
beautiful. All right, Mr. Jones, thank you. For everybody watching, stay tuned, because men need this. Men need a safe place. Men need somewhere where they can just be heard and they can stumble through a conversation so that they can get more clarity before they project. It's an amazing thing when it happens. So on that note, thank you, you gorgeous human being. Hopefully I'll get better internet. That's why we're teaming up. All right. Well, have an amazing night, everybody. Stay tuned.
See you later.
Ciao.
Bye.
Where's that button, Mr. Jones? Have you got control of it?